18 years is a long time to be entangled in the web of legal battles. But for Femi Fani-Kayode, the journey has finally come to an end. The former Minister of Aviation has been acquitted of all charges in his long-standing case with the EFCC, where he was accused of using falsified medical reports to evade trial. With no substantial evidence linking him to the alleged offence, the court ruled in his favour. Reflecting on his ordeal, Fani-Kayode expressed relief, stating, and I quote, that I have been in and out of court for the past 18 years. Today, I walk free and I am overjoyed. Justice has prevailed. End of quote. So, BK, 18 years of legal battle between the former minister and the EFCC has come to an end. Yes. Tell us, why were all these cases brought forward by the EFCC quashed?
Because they didn't have evidence. And, the EFCC relies a lot on petitions that, in most cases, are unfounded.
Frivolous.
If somebody does not like you, he sends a petition to the EFCC, they will then decide to pursue the matter. It is after they put you, they filed charges against you, that they will start looking for evidence. The Burna Boy said, no evidence.
No evidence.
You will explain tire.
You will explain tire.
So this is the situation that, in the first case, that first case lasted between 2008 and 2015. He was accused of stealing 19.5 billion. From 19.5 billion, they reduced it to 200 million naira and then accused him of money laundering.
Okay.
From 200 million naira case of money laundering, it came to 99 billion. They adjusted it to 99 billion, and they went to trial with that. In the final analysis, he was discharged and acquitted. They didn't have evidence to push that case against him. The second case, he was accused of stealing 8 billion naira public funds for Jonathan campaign. Okay. That case lasted between 2016 and 2023. It was initiated at the Federal High Court in Lagos, Justice Hassan. Again, by April 21, 2023, the Court of Appeal dismissed the matter. The third case, he was accused of collecting 26 million naira from the NSA's office. The case began in 2016, went right up to 2025. He was discharged on all counts on January 15, 2025. Then the fourth case, he was accused of forging medical certificate and presenting it before a court in order to get an adjournment. That was the last one, which was decided yesterday in the Court of Justice Abike-Fadipe. You will see the political nature of this case. A lot of the EFCC cases are politically motivated. I'm not talking about the people inside of a case of politicians waging war against themselves.
Waging war.
People like, if you recall, it's just that people don't really remember. Immediately, Yadwa was coming into office. They targeted elements of the previous administration.
Okay.
The current NSA was almost even killed. His car was riddled with bullets.
Really?
Yes.
Erufai was put on trial. He was accused of corruption. Erufai was accused of corruption. I don't even know how that matter ended up. The same thing, Femi Fani-Kayode. So usually when a new government comes in, some star boys of the previous administration, they will be hunting them as a way of discrediting the administration that was there before then. This is not how to fight corruption. The best way to fight corruption is to set up structures that make it extremely difficult for you to get away with corruption. People in other countries of the world that we want to be like,
Okay.
It's extremely difficult to get away with stealing public funds. It's extremely difficult. And even when you do it and you are caught, whether you are a president or before, you are going to jail. But in our own case, how many times do the politically exposed persons go to jail? They are able, most times the prosecution is watery, they don't do it well. And I'm saying this not to spite the EFCC, but to say the truth. The EFCC chairman himself, with his own mouth, this current chairman, said that there are prosecutors in the EFCC who deliberately sabotage cases.
Some of them are in court. They are undergoing trial.
No. So now, sometimes when I read some of their charges, I can sense that there is a desire to sabotage the case from the get-go. From the get-go. And I can predict cases that they will win and cases that they will not win. One does not have to be Nostradamus to know that if you see a watery case, you will know. You don't have evidence. So you are just trying to prolong the matter. And in the case of Femi Fani-Kayode, it was unlucky. Those judges will start a matter, then they will replace them, and then the case will start afresh. If I was matter now, you know, they had to start afresh again. So that's why you see that some cases lasting almost 20 years. To what end? It's not how to fight corruption. The rate of defeat of EFCC in cases involving politically exposed persons is alarming.
Very, very.
It's alarming. We are not talking if it's Yahoo boys, they get conviction easily. But with the politically exposed persons, oh my God. And people will sometimes blame the judges. But you can't blame judges alone. What is the quality of prosecution? Because that is, we must have a solid foundation if you want to build a skyscraper. If you don't have it, the building will come down. Exactly. The building will give way. This is what we are seeing. If they are continuing with this case for 100 years, Fani Kayode will still win. Because there was no evidence. Have you not heard of cases when judge, even this one, they still happen, the judge tongue-lash them?
Yeah, they do.
It always happens. I mean, imagine judges telling them how to do their job, that this is not how to do prosecution. So I'm just...
now, this now brings to question the operation of the EFCC, politically exposed persons. Why is it that the EFCC gets used by these politicians?
I wouldn't say get used, because, you know, all in the name of fighting corruption, you need to do something. And most of what EFCC does, it relies on public petitions. You know, there are several ways you can fight corruption. Most of what you see today, after the acts of corruption have been committed, not the proactive one. So that makes the job a bit more difficult. And when they go, we've had several lawyers, several people, you know, saying it, that through the prosecution team, you can actually rig the entire legal system in terms of how the charges are, you know, written, the charges they will prefer against you. And before you know it, you see some charges, and just as Jide said, you already will know, without being a lawyer, that there's no, because these are charges you cannot prove.
Can we say this is like a waste of court process?
It's not a case of what court process.
Like they are wasting the court time over something.
No, it is the EFCC, you know, modus operandi that we have to change. Do you know how many years we spent on this?
I mean, 18 years is such
there
a long
were times that the EFCC, you see in media reports, that they will say, so judge is a EFCC judge, change him. This so is anti-EFCC, change her. This is this on that over on this Femi Fani-Kayode matter. So
sometimes even the witnesses will come and contradict
what the prosecution.
See,
in this final matter,
the EFCC we need to look at its own modus operandi how it does its activities. There are lots and lots of things that are not done properly. And you can see many of the, judgments. You will see the judges, reprimanding the EFCC openly. So who do we blame? We don't blame the legal system. We blame the EFCC for always doing a shoddy job when it comes to politically exposed persons.
Now, when it comes to you talk about doing shoddy job. Now, looking at this, doing shoddy job when it comes to investigation, relating it to the fight against corruption,
without proper iron cast evidence, you have no case against anybody, wherever, regardless of where the petition is coming from. Fine, the petition you need, but you must on your own investigate and be sure that you have a case. Oh, look at the case of many governors from 1999 to 2007. One of them is the Senator Oji Uzokari. Okay. He went to prison. He was brought out on technicalities. The case, where is it today? We can go on. There are so many like that. Some will go to the court and take perpetual injunction that you must never do. Is anybody above the law?
Mikhail, the EFCC doing bad.
Roger Carlos' case was actually bungled by the judge.
Bungled by the judge?
Yes. He had been promoted to a higher court.
Okay.
So, but he then came back
to the judgment.
He was handling the matter. He then came back. Once you are promoted to a higher court, there's Supreme Court judgment on that. You cannot.
Okay.
You can't
preside
go
step down, preside over
to go and give judgment.
Okay.
Even if you are the one handling that matter and you are close to judgment time, once you are moved up, you have to relinquish that court
and let another judge take over.
Another judge will take over. But usually when another judge takes over, they start de novo. They start afresh. So he wanted to make sure that he
sees it to a conclusion.
Yes, but the law does not permit that. That means you are a judge in two courts. Technically, it means you are a judge in two courts. So the moment the lawyers to OUK saw that
loophole, they exploited it.
But let's get back to this issue of Fani-Kayode. Now the EFCC keeps losing cases. If you were to talk to the EFCC chairman on this issue of bad investigation, waste of court, what will you tell me?
No, I think he's already doing what they should have done for years.
For years, okay.
You can see he's trying to sanitize the EFCC from within.
Okay.
I said something a long time ago, on this program, that this EFCC chairman should get the president's mandate to clean up the EFCC, because this EFCC itself is a cesspool of corruption. So how do you, a place that harbors even thieves, you can see how they are stealing foreign currency within the FCC. They are stealing exhibit materials and all that. A place where you have some unscrupulous elements, giving the rest of them a bad name. You need to identify those bad eggs, those black legs, send them out of the system. Otherwise, they will continue to sabotage your work. I think he has started to do that now, because some of these discoveries that we are reading about, somebody stealing jewelry, somebody stealing gold bars, somebody stealing foreign exchange. It had been happening a long time ago, but they were not exposing.
EFCC has not been, putting all of this under the carpet. They've been helping to expose some of them.
Yes, under this current yes, he's doing that now. So I think it's the right step in the right direction, and he's a lawyer himself. He knows the value of efficient prosecution. So he has to continue, to work at it. Identify those bad eggs. Prosecute cases the right way. It's not every case that you can do. If you don't have evidence, for God's sake, don't go and waste the time of the courts. Don't go and waste the time of the courts. It's not compulsory that you must prosecute an individual if you don't have cast iron evidence against them. Look at the Britons, for example. Once they get hold of you, they take you before a court. You are not likely.
You can't escape.
You will go to jail
because there's a cast iron evidence.
Yes, before they take you before that court, they finish their work.
Everything is done.
They finish their work. So
okay.